Picture this. You're standing at a car dealership, keys almost in your hand, when the finance manager slides a piece of paper across the desk. Your heart sinks as you read the numbers. 540 credit score. Denied. This is Erin Martinez's reality. A dedicated emergency room nurse who thought she understood money, who believed she was building a future with someone she loved. But love, as Erin discovered, can be the most expensive lesson of all. Just 18 months ago, she had an excellent credit score and a savings account she was proud of. Today, she can't even qualify for a basic car loan. What happened in between wasn't a medical emergency or a job loss. It was something far more personal and devastating. The man she trusted with her heart also trusted himself with her credit cards. And when he disappeared, he took more than just her love with him. Erin Martinez has always been the kind of person others lean on. At 27, she moves through the emergency room with the quiet confidence that comes from saving lives on a Tuesday night shift. Her colleagues know her as the nurse who stays late when someone needs help, who brings homemade cookies to break room celebrations, who never complains about pulling a double when the hospital is short-staffed. But if you looked closely at Erin during her morning routine, you might notice the small moments of hesitation. The way she pauses before checking her phone, knowing there might be another balance alert waiting. The careful mental calculation she does while standing in the grocery store checkout line, adding up each item before the cashier can scan them. Erin grew up in a household where every dollar mattered. Her mother, a single parent, taught her that financial responsibility wasn't just about having money. It was about earning respect, building security, and creating the kind of life where you never had to depend on anyone else's charity. Those lessons shaped Erin into someone who paid her bills early, who had a savings account before she had a career, who understood that financial stability was the foundation everything else was built on. Her apartment reflects this careful approach to life. It's small but immaculate, decorated with thoughtful purchases rather than impulse buys. The furniture might be second-hand, but each piece was chosen with intention. Her financial documents are organized in a filing system that would make an accountant proud. This is someone who reads the fine print, who knows her credit score by heart, who has never missed a payment on anything. When Erin met Jake 2 years ago, she was in the strongest financial position of her life. Her nursing career was flourishing, her emergency fund was growing, and she had even started looking at condos in neighborhoods she once thought were out of reach. She felt proud of how far she'd come from that little girl watching her mother count coins to buy groceries. What Erin didn't realize was that her greatest strength, her desire to take care of the people she loved, would become the very thing that put everything she'd built at risk. The same instincts that made her an exceptional nurse, the same generosity that made her beloved by friends and family, would soon lead her down a path where interest charges and mounting debt would replace the financial security she'd worked so hard to create. Love, as Erin was about to learn, doesn't always protect the people who give it freely. The emergency room at St. Mary's Hospital becomes a different world after midnight. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, Erin moves between patients with the kind of practiced grace that only comes from years of experience. Tonight, like most nights, she's the steady presence that families cling to when their world suddenly tilts sideways. A car accident victim needs comfort while waiting for surgery. An elderly man with chest pains needs someone to hold his hand. A mother with a sick child needs reassurance that everything will be okay. This is where Erin feels most like herself, surrounded by controlled chaos, making split-second decisions, being the person others depend on when everything else falls apart. Her colleagues often joke that she has some kind of superpower, the way she can calm a panicked patient with just her voice, or somehow always know exactly what supplies they'll need before they run out. But even superheroes have to go home eventually. After her 12-hour shift ends, Erin drives through the quiet streets of her neighborhood, windows down, letting the cool morning air wash away the antiseptic smell of the hospital. Her car isn't fancy, a reliable Honda with 150,000 miles that she bought used 3 years ago, but it's paid off, and the automatic payment that used to come out of her checking account every month now goes straight into her savings instead. Her apartment building sits on a tree-lined street where people still know their neighbors' names. It's not the newest or the fanciest, but the rent is reasonable, and Erin takes pride in the small space she's made her own. The security deposit she paid when she first moved in had been a stretch back then, but now that same amount sits comfortably in her emergency fund, earning modest interest while she sleeps. Mornings after night shifts have their own rhythm. Erin changes out of her scrubs, makes coffee in her small but efficient kitchen, and settles onto her couch with her laptop to handle the day's personal business. Paying bills has become almost meditative, checking each account balance, scheduling payments, watching her savings grow in small but steady increments. She's worked hard to get to a place where money isn't a source of anxiety, where her credit limit feels like a safety net rather than a temptation. The apartment stays quiet except for the occasional sound of traffic outside and the gentle hum of her laptop. These are peaceful hours, the kind of solitude that recharges her after spending all night surrounded by other people's emergencies. She reads the news, answers texts from friends, sometimes calls her mother to check in. It's during one of these quiet mornings that Jake usually surfaces. A text message that makes her smile, a phone call that disrupts her routine in the best possible way. He's been unemployed for 8 months now, something that started as a temporary setback after his marketing company downsized, but has stretched longer than either of them expected. The job market is tough, he explains, and he's being selective about opportunities because he doesn't want to settle for something that won't lead anywhere. Erin understands. She's seen enough people in the emergency room who are clearly there because they couldn't afford preventive care, who waited too long to seek help because they were afraid of the bills. She knows how precarious financial security can be, how quickly everything can change. If Jake needs time to find the right opportunity, she's willing to support him through it. What she doesn't realize yet is how gradually that support has been growing. The dinner she paid for last week because Jake's card was declined. The groceries she's been buying for both of them. The small loans that started as $20 for gas and have quietly escalated to $300 for his car insurance. These aren't conscious decisions so much as reflexes. The same instinct that makes her excel at nursing applied to the relationship she's building with the man she loves. The bills are still getting paid. Her automatic payments still go through on schedule. Everything feels manageable, sustainable, under control. But financial stability, like a patient's vital signs, can change faster than anyone expects. The call comes at 2:47 a.m. while Erin is restocking supplies in the break room. Jake's voice sounds different, desperate in a way she's never heard before. His business opportunity, the one he's been working on for months, needs immediate funding, $15,000. The investor is ready, but they need proof of liquid capital by morning, and his credit application was denied. I know it's a lot to ask, he says, his words tumbling over each other. But this is it, Erin. This is how we change everything. I just need you to co-sign, and I'll handle all the payments. You won't have to worry about anything. Erin finds herself pacing the empty hallway, her heart racing in a way that has nothing to do with medical emergencies. $15,000 is more than she makes in 3 months. It's her entire emergency fund, plus the down payment she's been saving for a condo. But Jake sounds so certain, so desperate, and isn't this what couples do? Support each other through the difficult times? The loan application gets filled out during her break, Jake walking her through each section over the phone. Her excellent credit score opens doors his couldn't. The approval comes through within hours, money she never touched, attached to payments she never planned to make. 3 months later, Erin wakes up to a text message that changes everything. "I'm sorry. I need space to figure things out. Don't try to contact me." Jake is gone. The loan payments, however, are just beginning. And when Erin checks her credit cards Jake had access to for emergencies, she discovers declined transactions and overdue balances she never authorized. Her financial life, so carefully constructed, crumbles in a single morning. For 3 days, Erin calls in sick to work. She sits at her kitchen table surrounded by credit card statements, loan documents, and bank notifications, trying to piece together the full scope of what Jake has done. The numbers swim before her eyes, balances that don't match her memory, charges she never made, a credit report that looks like it belongs to someone else entirely. $23,000 in credit card debt, a personal loan with monthly payments that exceed her rent, late fees compounding like interest charges on a wound that won't heal. Her credit score has plummeted from 780 to 540 in less than 6 months, and she didn't even realize it was happening. The silence in her apartment feels different now, not peaceful, but hollow. She opens a credit monitoring app on her phone, something she's never needed before, and watches it calculate the damage in real time. Each notification feels like another small betrayal, another reminder of how completely she trusted someone who was systematically destroying her financial future. But somewhere between the shock and the spreadsheets, something shifts. Erin has spent her career helping people navigate their worst moments, and she recognizes this feeling, the moment when a patient stops asking, "Why me?" and starts asking, "What now?" The debt is real. Jake is gone. But Erin is still here, and she's survived worse things than this. Time to figure out how to save herself. The breakthrough comes on a Tuesday morning when Erin realizes she's been approaching this all wrong. She's been thinking like a victim instead of thinking like a nurse. In the emergency room, she doesn't waste time wondering how someone got hurt. She focuses on what needs to be done to make them better. Erin spreads every financial document across her living room floor and starts triaging. High-interest credit cards get priority treatment. The personal loan Jake abandoned becomes her responsibility, but it also becomes her motivation. She calls each creditor, explains her situation without mentioning Jake, and negotiates payment plans she can actually manage on her nurse's salary. The debt snowball method becomes her new religion. Every extra dollar, overtime pay, skipped dinners out, canceled streaming services, goes toward the smallest balance first. When that card gets paid off, she rolls that payment into the next one. Progress feels slow, but it's measurable. For the first time in months, her credit utilization starts moving in the right direction. She opens a budgeting app to track every expense, treating her financial recovery like a patient's vital signs. Each category gets scrutinized. Each purchase gets justified. The woman who once bought groceries without checking prices now calculates the cost per meal. It's not about deprivation, it's about intention. 3 months into her recovery plan, Erin gets her first credit score increase notification. 15 points. It's not much, but it's movement in the right direction. She screenshots it and saves it to a folder on her phone labeled Evidence. Evidence that she's stronger than what happened to her. Evidence that she's taking her life back, one payment at a time. 18 months later, Erin stands in a different car dealership, but this time, the conversation ends differently. The finance manager slides a paper across the desk. Not a rejection, but an approval. Her credit score has climbed back to 680, not perfect, but strong enough. The monthly payment fits comfortably within the budget she's learned to respect. The last credit card balance was cleared 3 months ago. What started as $23,000 in debt has been methodically eliminated through overtime shifts, careful spending, and the kind of discipline she once thought was impossible. Her budgeting app now shows something she hasn't seen in years. Positive cash flow every month, with money left over for both savings and the occasional dinner out. The personal loan Jake abandoned still has 8 months of payments remaining, but Erin no longer sees it as his debt. It's become proof of her resilience, a monthly reminder that she survived financial betrayal and came out stronger. Each payment is a victory. Each month a step further away from the woman who trusted blindly and toward the woman who builds her security with intention. Erin signs the car loan paperwork with steady hands. This purchase isn't about what she deserves or what someone else thinks she should have. It's about what she can afford, what she's earned, and what she's learned about the difference. Love should never cost you your future. That's the lesson Erin Martinez learned the hard way, but it's a lesson that ultimately saved her life. What looked like financial ruin became the foundation for something stronger, a relationship with money built on intention rather than emotion, boundaries rather than blind trust. Today, Erin still works night shifts at St. Mary's Hospital. She still takes care of people in their most vulnerable moments. But now she understands that taking care of herself isn't selfish. It's essential. Her bank account maintains a steady balance, her credit score reflects her true character, and her financial decisions belong to her alone. The woman who once thought love meant saying yes to everything now knows that real love, including self-love, sometimes means saying no. Her story reminds us that our greatest betrayals can become our most powerful transformations if we're brave enough to rebuild what was broken. Some lessons cost everything. The valuable ones are worth it.